ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon นะคะ So the Deputy Governor of Bank of Thailand คุณรณดลนุ่มนวลนะคะ and ladies and gentlemen okay first of all I would like to thank you for the BOT to invite me to join this session really interesting session it's about the responsible innovation right this couple of years we talk a lot about the technology, innovation, many things, and sometimes it seem like about this disrupts us or not, or it's change the world or not, or if anything happened. So I thought that's for the innovation or for the technology should have a responsible, especially for about the impact of society, environment, and the country. So that's for this I share my part with about the industry sector because of on this Tuesday you maybe share about the financial sector something like that right but for we share group since we seem like we previously we like about the infrastructure company but how we can use about the technology or innovation to just do a drop on our infrastructure and how we can change the whole business or how can we impact for the whole world or the whole country as well. So I thought that's for responsible innovation, it can create a better future for all if we understand it. And if we think about how we can create a better world for the next generation, not only us, right? Okay, for the responsible innovation, I think that's, okay, we have 4 pillars of the RI, or the responsible innovations. The first thing, economic growth and productivity. For the innovation, every innovation needs to create more productivities on with more about economic impact, right? So how can create the competitiveness or the supply chain or about the industry sectors or about the robustness and resiliency? We face a lot of for this couple of years, right? We have about the problems about the crisis that we just met it, about the crisis of the COVID, right? And we talk about the technology trend, right? And also like about the geopolitics, right? So it seems like the world is lessons, change all the supply chain, something, right? That's so how we can create this thing to improve of the crisis. How we can handle about the crisis management, something. Why use about the innovation, do technology to like about think this thing. Oh, sure, for the sustainable transition, right? So the technology cannot destroy all the environmental sector or anything. How can we penalize environmental concern? Right? So otherwise, over the next few years, 10 or 20 years, we have 4 problems about the climate change, about the cannot return anymore, right? So, and also for the equitable and also ethical innovation, it should have this thing, right? Now we already see this about the concern about the AI, right? About the advance of AI, how can this something that it's or not, right? Otherwise, you have things that's you control by AI. People build AI and control by AI. I don't think that we will face about this thing. So this should about responsible innovation for the 4 pillar things like this. And also for the global risk, for the past of 2023, you can see the next 2 years, the next 10 years, right? For the next 2 years, it seems like the cost of living crisis because of we just passed about the COVID something, right? And about the natural disaster, right? And you can see for the next 10 years, for the top 4, it's all about the climate. If we fail to like about the handle with the climate, you can see in next 10 years we fail to mitigate the climate change about the climate adaptation, also natural disaster. You can see on the some drought because of the climate thing, and because of the change, it seems like we work with the global corporate around the world, and we know the big corporate on the concern about this part, right? So we think how we can create about the industry sector, we not destroy the environmental, right? That's why for the think this thing a lot. That's why we create this innovation to put all our industry sector, right? This is our Thailand's key competitiveness right now. I say that it's like now existing because of, okay, we are strategic location, right? For our attract or like about all the FDI to use our location to be like the build a business something, right? And also competitiveness about the skill workforce, right? Well drop infrastructure, all the things that you can see it attractive investment. This is our create competitiveness, right? But I would like to add more. We need to create the other for the competitiveness about the innovations or about the climate something, or use about the green supply chain. Support that we can build our country to be the green supply chain. I thought that this is the most important part of the competitiveness as well. And this thing about I thought that's for the Thailand that we grow with sustainability. We need to have the three main pillars to develop the sustainable development. The first thing, yes, economic growth. The second part, environment protection. The third one is about the social inequality. The first part, if we talk about environmental, we think about the net zero emission, right? So we need to create more about the circular economy, zero waste, or we know the government support to do the green transportation, green utilities, and over the climate protections, right? And the second part about the economic, we face a lot of resilient growth economy. How can we support about this thing by which more the R&D or develop for the technology development, or even though the fully integrated infrastructure, right? And high stable economic growth, right? The third part, we talk about the social equality. We also mentioned about equality and quality well-being. We talk about the bridging the gap. How can we bridge the gap between poor and rich people, right? So on this part, if you still have more unequal for the quality or something, if you have the problems in the next few years, right? So I think for the social, we should have about notoriety, zero hunger, quality education. For the quality education, right? This is the most important part, right? Since the world changed a lot, we cannot rely on the previous about the education anymore, right? Or about the better quality of life. This can create the well-beings. If we can boost about the main pillar, I thought that Thailand can about growth with such a role. And this is maybe with this back to about the WCA group. For the WCA group, we do the 4 business. Right, that's I first mentioned about that. Previously, we just about the infrastructure company. We do logistics, we do industrial state dropper, and also we do about the utilities and power business, and also the digital. Right, the digital. It seems like we just create this 4th hub because of I recognize that thing about that's the technology really important for our country. Right, and for our business like this. So why we put this thing like this? Because of on every sector, maybe this 2 days you heard a lot about the financial sector, financial part. This is the industry sector, and this is a very important part as well for how drop the country, right? And this is the most sector that impact by about the innovation. And this sector should be about do a lot about the responsible innovation. The first thing. Sorry,นะคะมันแบ็กกลับไป Okay, this one, okay. For this part, I start for the BCA group, I start think about the technology or innovation since the year 2017. When I think about that, because of we do a very good about very important infrastructure for the country. And I talk with my employees, that my management, that the BCA not to face about the disruption, right? We talk digital disruption. Yes, we not face digital disruption because of everything the world change. Use a lot of technology. That means you need to use this full infrastructure. But we will disrupt ourselves if we not about do the more on the technology, or we do the same as we passed before. We cannot about have the benefit that we have. Since we seem like we have the really big ecosystem, right? You can see even for the logistic part. Previously, it seemed like we only develop something, right? Build about the world-class standard, build to suit concept to list to our global corporate, right? But right now, we think about the technology. That we have the innovation a lot about just automations, and seem like now we touch on about the green logistic. The second hub, industrial estate. We are the largest industrial estate in Thailand, and now we expand to Vietnam. And we are the one that think about how we can create a smart eco industrial estate. How can our industrial estate provide about the renewable energy, not only the electricity from fuel or something like that, right? So this is, since we think about 2017, at right now, when we oppose or attack the FDI, especially for about from US or EU, also of them ask us about, can we provide 100% of RE, right? Or RE 100, it's mean renewable 100% by solar or by wind or something like that. Right? So the whole world change, or even though we also do about the utilities and power business. For the utilities, we also use about the waste zero, like to discharge zero waste to the environment, right? We have to use our innovation, create about the wastewater, that's from the production, to create innovation like about to become about the value-added water, reclamation water, or demineralized water, right? This is we try to do zero discharge to the public. And even though for the power business, right? Okay, previously we have the IPP, SPP, and now we focus on the RE, right? Especially solar, and we create use about the blockchain technology to develop on about the use of peer-to-peer energy trading. The part my intention because of I would like to about lower the cost of our electricity in our industrial estate. That means we can create more competitiveness with other country because of, as you know, we really secure our country. Thailand is really secure about the electricity, something like that, but also more secure. That means more high cost of the electricity cost, right? But because of our neighbor, the subsidy, the power from their government. But we need to create our competitiveness as well. That's why I think a lot about use about solar energy to reduce the cost, right? And support that we can trade all the energy something, or we can use about can be free solar something. That means that the new government they think about this thing, right? So we can use about the grid, right, to generate the solar business. That means that we can everywhere we can create the solar and send to the grid and then can provide on the industrial estate. I have one interesting customer. They have intention to invest in Thailand. Only there one company they use about 500 megawatt. Only one company, really huge number, right? And also they also have the intention to have the RE100. Right? So this is all the new technology, right? Something, right? And also for the first hub, for the digitalization and other, that we create this hub because of you would like to support the 3 hub. Because of previously we don't have about the tech guys or data guys something, but now we already done. Right? This is for the that we can create about the engine behind the Thailand economic growth. We can uplift the GDP more than 1.4 trillion Thai baht. And also we can encourage about the more than 200,000 jobs around in our industrial estate, right? So we can enhance about the logistic competitiveness. The thing that we do versus that means the thing that we support our country as well. And also we also have about announced that about the net zero. We have announced that we have reached about the net zero in the year 2050, but on the last 2 years, on 2021, we reached about the new carbon neutrality, already reached the carbon neutrality, right? Because the carbon emission that we emit, right, that we have offset by about the solar that we have, right? So that means we can sell to the carbon credit. And this is for the Mission to the Sun program. This is very we just announced this program early this year because of we do a lot for the digital transformation. We do about a drop of the technology or about a drop in our business model. And the thing that we can conclude in 4 parts. The first thing, sustainable development, right? You can see it, ESG and circular. And also even the new product and service, right? For the logistics, we have add more about the green logistics and about the digital asset, digital health tech. And for the people part, for the people is very important part. You can create more society, very best society. But if your people not ready, that means you can refer everything, right? So the people part is really our part as well, right? So we do about the organization and the culture development. If you would like to change from the existing one to the new things, right? You need to build a new culture. Because of you can see the next generation or the people we have about your peers, it seems like Gen X, Gen Y something, like we need to meet about the Gen Z, Gen C and Gen Y something, right? So you need to combine on the culture all together, right? And also the customer centricity that we also do about things. This is for the example of the green logistic, right? Since I have the key point about because of mainly of our customer is about the global corporate, and they were forced by their headquarters to use about the EV. But it is EV commercial. We don't talk about the EV passenger, right? Because of for the EV, I thought that's for the benefit to about the use about the electricity. EV something like this should be under the commercial. That means you use a lot, right? About the traveling a lot on the per day something, right? That they can reduce your cost a lot, right? And you can create for the about the climate something. But the thing that you don't look like the EV is facing, right? We think about how we can create about the technology, right? To create more like about from the operation of the logistic part until to about the law optimization end-to-end process something, right? Support that we can now be on the process to study use of the quantum computing to do a law optimization, and also now we are doing a super app to control all the whole process, right? My aim suppose like we can reduce about the number vehicle per day. Something support as for example, our client they use about 1,000 pick up a day. How can we use our technology reduce from 1,000 to 700? This means they can reduce the cost of about the rental or about the cost of the fixed cost of the car, right? And also that means about the workers, all things they can reduce a lot, right? So I think that I thought about how we can reduce or increase about the competitiveness of the whole country of the logistics. Because of now, our logistic cost to GDP is still very high, 13.4%. It's better than the last 20 years ago when I started the logistic business. The GDP, the cost of the logistics to GDP is around 18%. Right now it's around 13.4 or about 13.8, right? But I thought that support that we can use about the transportation. This is the most important part about the whole logistics, right? I thought that maybe it can reduce to about the 1 digit, right? And it's create a climate. Sorry, Naka. Okay, okay. And also for the industrial estate, we do a lot of smart industrial estate. We use the AI, we use about the control the traffic control, right? It's not only for our industrial estate, it can control all the whole province. This is just only the pilot project to test about how can we use about this. Sorry, มันเคลื่อนไปเองเลยนะคะ Okay ค่ะ because we try how about Sorry, I have the problem about no, I didn't touch anything. Okay, we try to for our innovation, not only for us, but we also try to only all the people allow us. We need to with about our communication, community that we involve, right? So please back to the last two for the smart traffic. Okay, that's okay, okay. This is also we have a good number. We can reduce about the cost of the traffic that jam in the around the province, right? And also the next we also since we said that I do for solar business. Now we are the thing that use the innovation, the AI technology, right, to detect about the solar anomaly, right? We have more than 100 locations of solar that's been support that we can use this thing. We can create all the whole country how we can detect about anomaly that for the damage or anything, right? And use about the number about the data for using about the electricity, right? And how to can reduce the cost of use more about the RE. And also even though the water business, we also do about the smart water platform. The problem is I thought about in our country, right? I think that's our water enough. If we have the good managed control for the water management, right? No, and you mean we said no doubts anymore พี่ไม่ได้เลื่อนเลยนะคะมันไปเอง Okay นะคะ Since I thought about how can we manage the water, right? So no need. I thought that suppose we can control in the EEC part, the Eastern Seaboard. I thought that no need to use about the big budget for the desalination, because I thought that's our water enough if we have the good manage this thing. So we start with our ecosystem first, try to do in our industrial sectors first, and then we can write about use in the other sector. Even though for the digital healthcare, the BCA don't do about the healthcare business. We didn't do for this thing, and I don't think about the health hospital investment something, but I think that how we can bridging the gap, how we can help our employees in the industrial estate. That how can they about the can be had better about the quality of life by the healthcare, but by digital technology, and also how can we help about our customer to reduce the cost of the health insurance something, and can use the data. Can use the data how can not only treatment, right? We can use data to prediction, right? How can treat all the employees who had with a better life, right? So I thought that this is piece back to previous page. So I thought Okay, so I thought that with technology, we can help our people from the well-being for the wellness and thing, right? So the thing that we try to do that try to help, try to like create about help the communities as well. So the next is about the secular. This is a very important part as well. I thought that we can create about the strategy that how can we create a zero waste to the other, to our community first, right? The first thing, this is waste from this factory. How can be about the raw material from the other factory, right? So we have a lot of now we on the process to do about the more than 40. Okay. Oh, the more than 40 circular projects submitted to do in our group, right? For the thing do about the innovations. The second green product, we need to create more the green product, lead waste to landfill, or about the concrete waste hub something, right? And also waste management platform, right? If the waste management platform that we done, right, we can use first in our industrial estate, and we can about expand to other part of Thailand, and about the emission trading. We do the carbon trading platform. Now, since because when we do about the industrial estate, we need to have green area by EIA, right? But now we think about can we do about the green area, not only the green area as previous one. How can we build about the forest, right? And can do the carbon credit, right? Now we have only the announced we have around 5,000 lights that we can build about the forest. Right, and use about the technology to adopt this thing. How can we measurement about the width of the tree something because of them can create about the carbon credit. And also this is about digital inclusion, right? We have the telecom, travel, fiber optic something. This try to help or support our customer for the infrastructure. And this part about human capital development. You think that we can create more and more, think a lot about the human. We do about dual vocational education. Since for the share group, since we do a lot of industrial estate, even in Thailand or in the other country, we affect a lot of communities, more than 200,000 family that we need to take care about things. Even we help them to about the e-market space. Even though we do the project about the use about the marketing to help them do about the Pangan project, how we create things, right? And also, next slide, please. Corporate social responsibility. We do the clean water for planet. This is about the we use about the wastewater, the treatment to the plan to treat about the wastewater. Or another type that we also have about the use about the chemical to treat the wastewater as well. But this part we use about clean water for planet and help other communities to help them to how can create not create more the wastewater. And for just mention about the WHA Pangan project, we have the online marketplace to help the communities allow our industrial estate, right? How can they use about the technology, help them to use technology to do more marketing, to more about how the way that can sell to the other area of the whole country. Even though for the mobile medical unit, that's in how care for the WHA also that like about care for the people, right? And also, this is for the group of the share group. I try to say that even though we do the industry sector, if you think about the people, if you think about the environment, if you think about the country, you can use about the technology to do the best thing for your people, not only for yourself. I think that it's no time anymore for the country, for the company that's only think of your things only themselves, not the profit, just create more profit and profit without have about the impact, the bad impact with the whole country, right? I thought that this is time that for corporate, small SME, for the corporate, any corporate, think about that. We can adopt the technology, we can adopt the innovation to put in your business model. Because of I have faced a lot about maybe the small company, the SME, they think that the technology, the cost, it's the cost. It's not about the business model. But I thought that if you can adopt the technology and you think about, even though the climate thing, right? You can think that this can you increase your competitiveness, can increase your customer as well, especially supported for the corporate that export to EU. You will face about the CBAM, right? This is the part that we need to think, but not only us can do it, the government need to support about this part as well, right? So I think that's how can we build the whole country. We can build the green supply chain. We can be about we can have the new market as well. So I think that for the innovation should be a responsible innovation for the technology as well. Should be the responsible technology that we can go with sustainable ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ